welcome back to the Game Smash Podcast. As always, I'm your host, William Liberty, and with me is...
Fawwaz Muhammad Yusuf.
And today we got some stuff. We've got Scalebound canceled. We've got Phantom Dust doing well. We've got Gorilla Cambridge to close. We've got a Revelator expansion. And we got the Nintendo Switch reveal, and it's going to be like a whole big thing of like games, functionality, price, whatnot.
Yeah.
So before we get into that, let's quickly talk about what we played this week. So I played some more Overwatch. You know, getting practice. I had a really good game with Ana, surprisingly, which I don't usually have.
Oh shit! You're learning Ana.
I am. Well, yeah. I've been trying to learn Ana for a while and failing horribly.
She's really hard to play.
Yeah. But I feel like I'm getting a little bit better with her. I'm better with her on certain maps. Like the map we were playing was Hanamura, and she's pretty good on that map because it's a lot of there's a lot of good sniper positions on Hanamura to use to your advantage.
Yeah, Ana, I've learned in my experience anyway. She's really good in certain comps, you know.
Yeah.
If you have big beefy targets because have you ever tried healing Genji?
Yeah, I have. It's not a fun time.
It's not a fun time. Whereas healing like a Reinhardt or a Roadhog is so unbelievably easy. So if you have a good tank, a good beefy tank, you know, a Reinhardt, a Roadhog, a D.Va. Oh my god, have you tried killing a D.Va that's being pocketed by an Ana?
Yeah, it's rough.
But yeah, if you want, we can play some games, and I can pick. I don't play a lot of Reinhardt, but I can pick Reinhardt, or I can pick Winston. Actually, I think Ana would probably work well with Winston because when I dive the back line, because what always happens when you're playing Mercy is I dive the back line, and then you dive in with me, and then we both die. But if you're playing Ana, I can dive the back line, and then you can just heal me from across the map, and it's all
and it's all good. Then it's fine. Okay, but basically that's what I've been I played that, practicing some Ana, getting better. Played some D&D because I'm a nerd. And it was hilarious because I caused a shitstorm in the campaign.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that you got into a fight with some really powerful elder vampire.
Yeah, basically we're all sitting down at the table, this really long table, and I just went, you know what? Screw you, Strahd, you piece of shit. And I pull out this talisman and I light the entire room full of sunlight, and then everyone just pulls out weapons and starts fighting. And it got pretty dire pretty quickly. And we were lucky in the sense where it's the PCs were strong enough to help us. Not the PCs. Some of the NPs that came with us were strong enough to help us do this fight. And because I filled up the room with sunlight, and what that does to vampires is that it makes it so that they have to roll with disadvantage, which basically means they roll twice. You roll the dice twice, and they take the lowest number to hit.
Okay.
And half the time, these guys were still hitting. So I was like, woof. So that was a lot of fun. That was one of the longest fights I've actually been in because it was a 3.5-hour fight. So. Yeah, but we didn't even kill Strahd. Strahd left the fight because he was like, I'm not going to fight you guys in sunlight. I'm not that stupid. So, but anyway, it was a lot of fun, and that was a blast to play in. But that's basically what I played this week. What about you, Fawwaz?
I pretty much played the same thing as you, minus the nerdy D&D. So I just want to do a quick aside. I say that I'm only jesting when I say that in jest. I don't actually. I mean, I'm not one to call anybody a nerd.
Don't worry. I mean, Fawwaz is gonna be where our next big Let's Play is gonna be a D&D campaign.
But yeah, I actually played a decent amount of Overwatch this past week. There's a lot of idiots online. I just need to throw that out there.
Yeah,
but I finally gave in and I sold my soul to the devils, and I started playing May.
Ah, yes.
Yeah,
You had some things to say about that.
yeah, she's fun. She's definitely fun. I was the issue that I'm running into right now is that there's a certain amount of coordination that you need because like my goal is always to like guard the choke points and separate the enemies when they push in. But then I'll
Mhm.
separate the enemies, and then my team won't like converge on who I've separated. Like there was this game I was playing where a Roadhog he keep pushing the choke point, and I throw up an ice wall and protect him. Sorry, and like section him off, and then it would just be me and the Reinhardt fighting the Roadhog. Everybody else would be off doing
Their
their
own
own thing.
thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
so yeah, that was kind of irritating, but she's fun. She's fun. I already got both her trophies, so it took me like about 100 fewer games than Genji to get all of
Yeah.
her trophies. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've been playing. It takes me a while to get. Oh, actually, that's not true. I started practicing Marvel's Capcom 3 again. Yeah.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah, I know, because like one of the reasons why I stopped playing, besides the fact that the game is a very flawed video game. But besides that fact, one of the reasons why I stopped playing was because I wasn't going to invest time in a franchise that I thought, for all accounts, was dead. I was like, there's no point in learning and practicing any of this stuff. No one plays this game anymore, and then because there's no sequel in sight, no one has any incentive to start playing this game anymore. So I was like, whatever, I'm done. But then with Infinite coming, and there's just one dude in my community who I tip my hat to him because he's put a lot of effort into keeping the Marvel scene alive.
Hmm.
So I was like, you know what? Maybe it's time. Maybe it's time. So I started practicing. I'm trying to learn. The team I'm trying to learn is Wolverine, Spencer, and then for the anchor, I'm torn between Akuma and Doom. I'm not sure who I'm going to use yet. I always
Right,
wanted to play
yeah.
Akuma, so I'm probably going to end up using Akuma. But Doom is Doom.
Yeah. Doom is Doom, yeah.
Yeah, you can stick Doom in any team and he just works. But
Hmm.
yeah. So I started practicing Marvel 3 again. I'm really really rusty. Like cuz like the button scheme obviously is different from Guilty Gear, but I've been
Hmm.
playing Guilty Gear for so long that a lot of the times my muscle memory
Your
is
muscle
in the
memory,
Guilty Gear.
yeah,
It's
exactly, yeah.
Guilty Gear control scheme. And in general, it's not too big of a deal because the heavies are the same, but the lights are different. And so every
Hmm.
now and then I'm trying to hit light in Marvel, and I do launch, and most launches aren't safe on block. So, but
Right.
yeah. Marvel 3. I don't know how long I'm going to be playing it for because I played a couple games with my friend and he just reminded me about a lot of stuff that I don't like about the game. But I'm
Hmm.
definitely gonna give it a shot. I'll give it a shot, put some practice into it. I'm also very bad right now. Like I've just forgotten how to play the game. I've forgotten. So yeah. But yeah, Marvel 3. Looking
Nice,
forward to more
nice.
of that in the future.
Well, I wish you luck. You're obviously, if you just want someone to stomp on, just call me up because I can't
You own
play.
Marvel? You own it?
No, I mean, like if you have Marvel 3, invite me over sometime and just
Oh, okay,
play.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So let's get into some news. Okay, so not so great for Microsoft fans. Scalebound, the really interesting, weird, pseudo co-op-y multiplayer platinum game, has been canceled. Just officially canceled.
Yeah.
And there were some interesting things coming from this, where it's just like, they were basically saying, like, we're sorry about the cancellation, it's a shame. What I find interesting is that it very seems that it was a cancellation due to multiple things. Like some of the sources have said that some of the platinum employees they had to take time off because of the crunch time of this
Hmm.
game was apparently getting pretty ridiculous. And also, I think there was the relationship with Platinum and Microsoft was getting a bit muddled. This was a long, long time ago, but Kamiya posted a quote. He tweeted, "These MS fucks, are you kidding me?"
Ooh.
Yeah, I think he did that. I think he did. Was it last year? I think it was last year. He posted that on his Twitter. So that's why I'm thinking like, okay, clearly while they were making this game, there were some relationship troubles with Microsoft and Platinum that just weren't like lining up with each other. So that's probably it's sort of probably just boiled over time. But yeah, like this just that really sucks because Microsoft was pushing this game pretty hard.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, it's a pity. It's a real pity. It's actually ironic because when the game was announced, this was back in like 2014, 2015, and at the time, Sony didn't have anything, right? You know, they were pushing the PS4 based off third-party bullshit. So at the time, I was jealous. Obviously, you know, I love me some Platinum games, and at that point, the PS4 was the only console that didn't have a Platinum game on it.
Yeah.
So I was pretty upset about it. But here we are all these years later, and unfortunately, the game just never came to light. It sucks because, like, you know, I think everybody that isn't a fanboy was probably really excited to see what this relationship brought. But, like, even before the cancellation, there was... Like, I don't want to say, you know, you could tell there was trouble in the water, but, like, the gameplay at the show at E3 2016, I can only speak for myself, but it wasn't very compelling.
I wasn't sold. I really wasn't sold with that trailer.
Yeah, I distinctly remember drifting off midway through the demo and just not paying attention anymore. But then I was like, you know, it's Platinum games, so maybe it's just one of those games that's more fun to play than it is to watch. Like Skyrim, for example. I can't watch Skyrim gameplay. I find it absolutely boring. But I've put like 400 hours into that game, so you know. I thought maybe that would be the case. Unfortunately, I guess we'll never know. I did want to bring up something, quote unquote, hilarious that happened. Because when this got announced, you know, obviously the fanboys come out. Man, honestly, just a quick digression. Fuck fanboys, like every last one of them. You know, because like the mentality of a fanboy really upsets me. Because you know what? Sure, whatever. We all have our biases. You know, I'm biased towards PlayStation, even before I bought a PS4. Yeah. But when you let that your bias get in the way of you, when you let that your bias make you start celebrating things that could potentially lead to people losing their jobs, then you're an idiot. And anyway, let me not start ranting. But anyway, the fanboys come out and they're like that. Oh yeah, Sony would never let something like this happen. And then a couple of days later, we discover that Gorilla Cambridge's doors are closing down. But sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself right now.
Well, no, it's a good point. It's basically like, this is not something that is exclusive to Microsoft, even though, yes, their track record right now has not been the greatest with Fable, Project Spark.
Their track record is very bad right
Their
now.
track record is not great right now, so they're the hot button. They're kind of like, oh, let's point at the guy who's on fire right now. But like Sony has not. I was just gonna say that Sony is not has done this in the past too. Like, you know, you think of the Drive Club guys. We've got, you know, the Gorilla Cambridge closing down. I think the difference is just from, at least from this, is that it's so weird to me because this game was pushed to 2 E3s. That it would get canceled. Like, that is something that makes me go, okay, holy crap. Because it's like, if it was a game that it was like, you know, being made by Microsoft but not being pushed that much that got canceled, I was like, okay, whatever. Like, you know, that's something that I can understand and see how it came to. But the fact that they were pushing this game so hard and it still got canceled really makes me go, whoa. Like, it must have been pretty bad for that to happen. Like, I can only imagine. Like, I mean, obviously, there's all these NDAs, so we're probably never going to know. But who knows? Maybe Kinemia might just not give a shit and burn all the bridges.
One thing I just want to touch on before we close the book on this is that Microsoft is back. Like, Sony's problem is that I think they have too many first-party studios. Microsoft have too few. And it's starting to show. Well, people are starting to notice. It's been shown since the Xbox 360 because all they ever, you know, did was cycle through Halo, Gears, Forza and Fable, right?
Right.
And that's pretty much all they've been doing this generation as well. So
Yeah.
that's the reason why I was really excited when they announced Scalebound, because I was like, okay, cool. They're getting new IPs and they're spreading their wings. But anyway, as if to put some water on the flames, they announced that Phantom Dust is still coming along fine. So that's one game I was actually really surprised that they announced, and I was kind of excited for at E3 2015.
Yeah, 2015. No, 2014.
Yeah, 2014.
Yeah.
But yeah, they said the game is coming along, which is good to know, because I thought it was canceled.
Yeah, I really thought it was canceled. I remember reading somewhere that they were making a bunch of different changes to the game, and the development house was like, we don't have the money to make these changes. And Microsoft was like, no, that's fine. Just make the changes. So I assume that it got canceled at some point, but I mean, that's good, like, for sure, that they're still working at it. I mean, it's a shame that we still don't have a release date or even, like, any... I don't think we even have gameplay at this point.
No, we don't even have gameplay. We had a CGI trailer.
Oh, and I read something hilarious about
that's been about it. So, yeah, this is going to be another Cyberpunk 2077, I guess.
I was going to say just very quickly about the CGI trailer. The CGI trailer was made by a different company, and apparently the guys working on Phantom Dust didn't even know that it was coming out. They were like, wait, we have a CG trailer? Wait, they're doing that? That's not in the game.
That's funny.
Oh my god.
That's funny. But yeah. Not a lot of good news. Well, okay, this is a bit of, sorry, let me rephrase it. This is good to hear. This is a bit of good news in a sea of sorrow.
Yeah.
Because our next bit of news, as I alluded to earlier, is that Gorilla Cambridge is closing their doors.
Yeah.
Now, Gorilla Cambridge they're known for a couple of games. Most recent is, what's this thing called?
Riggs.
Shit, help me out here. Riggs, there we go. Riggs, Mechanized Warfare, the VR game. But prior to becoming Gorilla Cambridge, they worked on a bunch of games. They're actually the people behind Medieval.
Yeah. Oh god, that's
yeah.
I love Medieval. Medieval's great.
Yeah. They made Medieval and its sequels, and then they made Primal for the PS2. I don't know if you remember that game.
I don't remember Primal, but I know Medieval.
But yeah, they're a really old studio. They would be, quote unquote, celebrating their 20th anniversary this year. They're
celebrating their 25th anniversary, all right, as they're walking out the door.
Yeah, the 4th of July. Oh my God, was going to be their 20th anniversary, and then Sony closed down their doors. Now, on one hand, I kind of understand why, because I'm looking at their resume, and they really haven't done much the past couple of years. During the early PlayStation era and the PS2 era, they had like a bunch of releases. They released 2 games in 2003, 2 games in 1997. They had more frequent releases, and then they released a game like almost every other year. But ever since 2008, they haven't really done anything. They ported Little Big Planet for the PSP, and then they had Killzone Mercenary on the Vita, and that's about it. On one hand, I'm really sad to see this happen, but then on the other hand, unfortunately it's not too surprising.
It's another one. I think we talked about something similar to this. It was basically like, this is another like subdivision or like developer that they just haven't been producing games consistently enough to warrant the money. And I can understand that from a business standpoint. It's like, why are we paying these guys this much money when we're not really getting any games out of them? And I'm not saying that it's like I'm not condoning like rushing game development, but like there wasn't really many games coming from them. I mean, Riggs was their most recent one in a while, I'm assuming.
Yeah. It is funny though. I wonder if this develops any animosity in the internal elements of Sony Studios, because like they're sitting there and they're like, okay, but like PlayStation Japan, Team Ico hasn't released a game in 10 years. Like, why are we getting shot? Like, those guys are just sitting there not doing anything. But it is unfortunate. Sony said that they're gonna try to put some of the members of these studios and some of the other teams.
Mm.
And like I said earlier, I do think that this is probably, from Sony's point of view, this is the right move long term, because I feel like right now Sony has way too many first party studios.
Yeah.
Like, way too many first party studios. There's first party studios. I mean, look at like the Siphon Filter team. Prior to announcing Days Gone, they hadn't announced the game in like 4 or 5 years. You know, so it's
yeah. It makes sense, but yeah, at the same time, you feel like that sucks. That sucks.
It sucks. It definitely sucks.
I mean, overall, like, just with all this like cancellation news and developers, you know, getting closed, and it's like, it's not good for anyone. And I mean, like, but it's sort of I guess that's just the name of the game with this kind of development from time to time. Is that you get these shitty scenarios.
Okay, but anyway, I'm really feeling sad right now, Tanner. So let's move on to something really positive. I woke up this morning, or maybe it was yesterday in the morning. Let's just say yesterday. Yeah, I woke up yesterday. No, I was like, whatever, doesn't matter. I woke up a couple mornings ago, and I just see a trailer for Guilty Gear Xrd Revelator Rev 2. First of all, who the hell comes up with these names? Seriously, like, who? Anyway, so
Tokyo Mirage
so my
Sessions.
Impressions are, oh no, am I gonna have to buy another Guilty Gear? But then they announced that this is supposed to be a downloadable update for the old Guilty Gear. So I don't have to shell out a full $60 again. This is going to be a bit like DLC. Mm-hmm. Now, in the announcement trailer, we get 2 new characters. There's probably going to be more. My prediction is we're probably going to get 5. We'll get 2. They announced 2 at first. We'll get a 3rd one when the arcade version comes out in spring, and then we'll probably get like 1, maybe 2 console characters. That's how they've done. That's how they've done so far. But you know, we got this first character called Answer, I think is his name.
Yeah, Answer.
And then the big news is that Baiken finally returns after. So, like, Baiken and Dizzy, I think, were the most requested characters when Xrd got announced. So I'm really curious. Well, now all that's left is what's his name with the yo-yo, but whatever. Yeah, Baiken finally got announced. So awesome. Yeah, people can finally stop complaining, play her for a week, realize she's really hard to play, and then just drop her, because that's exactly what happened.
That's exactly what's gonna happen. Yeah.
Yeah. In terms of her gameplay, like, I never played Baiken. She was too high execution for me, so I can't really comment on anything. However, in the years in between Guilty Gear X2 and Xrd have been really good to Baiken. She's put on weight in certain areas of her body that...
Yeah, I bet she has.
But yeah, overall... Seriously speaking, I'm really excited for this. I'm glad it seems like they're finally ditching the constant brand new versions every year, and this is going to be like a DLC.
Yeah,
they're gonna rebalance the game too. So I'm hoping that my girl Elfelt doesn't get touched.
Oh yeah, because
I think she's pretty balanced now, and she's got it nerfed in every single version of the game. So far, but yeah, fun stuff. I'm excited.
I mean, overall, like every time I see gameplay of this game, and even with this new stuff for this expansion, it's like this game just looks so good. Like, just from a presentation standpoint, it's just it's amazing.
It is amazing. It's pretty damn good looking. Oh yeah, a couple other things. So it's coming in spring to arcades. Mm-hmm. So hopefully the gap isn't too large between when it hits arcades and when it comes to North America. If I had to guess, I would say that it would probably hit North America sometime after Evo. I don't think this is going to. Yeah, I'd be very surprised if this came to North America before Evo. Yeah. And apparently this is going to be the final expansion, so that's kind of sad. But you know what? C'est la vie.
I mean, it could be worse. It could, like literally, if they had announced, all right, we're just making a whole new game.
This is true.
Yeah.
That would have been kind of irritating. Yeah. But yeah, you know, I'm looking forward to hearing pricing. They said in their press release that it was going to be quote unquote affordable. So that's good to know. But you know, affordable is relative. So So
Yeah.
yeah, but no, this is really good news, and I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm definitely going to start practicing Guilty Gear again because I took a bit of a break
Yeah.
towards the end of last semester because of school and stuff. But I'm definitely going to be making my comeback now.
All right. So do you want to go and start talking about the big one?
Yeah, so speaking of making a comeback, Nintendo is trying to make a comeback after what can only be described as one of the worst home consoles in recent memory with the Wii U, with the Nintendo Switch. So they
Yep.
had a massive press conference Thursday
Yeah.
night, and then they had some extra stuff like a treehouse nonsense Friday morning.
Mm-hmm.
And all the details that we've been craving for were finally
It was
revealed. The price was
everything, dude.
revealed.
Yep.
Sorry, I keep cutting you off.
No. But yeah, you're right. Like everything just got dropped, and this is where my mentality. When I was watching this, I was like, okay, this is their E3, basically. This
Yeah.
feels like their E3. This feels almost like what should have been their E3, but they either didn't like. They didn't want to reveal it right away, or for whatever reason. But for whatever reason, they just dumped everything right now. So we got the price, which is $299, $300. Oh, I think it's not as bad as it could be. I was hoping for 250 USD, but I can deal with 300.
Yeah,
March.
that's also $300 American.
Oh no,
right?
I'm aware of that, but I'm talking from a standpoint. I know Canada's fucked because of taxes, but
Yeah, so we're probably gonna be paying 350 plus tax over here. Hopefully not, but yeah, $300. I mean, it could be worse. It could be 599 US dollars.
No, if it like the main thing that it had to be for me is it could not be as expensive as a PS4. It could not be as expensive as an Xbox One. Like period. Like that's the thing.
Isn't it as expensive as okay, no, it's $100 cheaper. Okay.
So that was, and I was surprised with the release date too, March 3rd. That is, that's a lot sooner than I'm prepared for.
Sorry. I'm just quickly checking some stuff. It is cheaper than a PS4, but not by much. It's PS4 is at 350 in America, and this is going to be 300. But yeah, you're right. It couldn't be as expensive as a PS4 as an Xbox One, but anyway, we'll get to that later. Yeah, March 3rd.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they said March, so I was pretty much. I didn't expect. I mean, obviously, I didn't have any date in March that I had my eye on, but
I guess I thought it was going to be later in March. More closer to April. I was surprised that it's the beginning of March.
Yeah, but the other thing is that okay, like your standard Switch unit is going to launch with one controller. I forget what they call it. I don't remember the exact name.
They're
of
called
that.
Joy-Cons.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna launch with one controller with the screen and the little. I mean, obviously the console, the two little like handheld things.
Yeah.
And then the screen, and then the port where you can charge it on.
Yeah.
Then obviously the Pro controller is an extra periphery, which is disappointing but not unexpected.
I mean, they did it with the Wii. They did it with the Wii U, and I'm like, all right, whatever. Like, the difference is that the controller for the Switch, the thing that you put the two Joy-Cons into.
Joy-Con, that's the word.
Yeah, Joy-Cons. You put the two Joy-Cons into this like pseudo controller holder that looks more like an actual controller.
Yeah.
That's better than the Wii U tablet. That is better than the Wii U tablet. So that I'm like, okay, at least we have that, and probably I'm probably just gonna end up getting a Pro controller regardless. But at least I have that as an option,
Yeah, they also announced the battery life. It's what was it again? It's supposed to range between 2.5 to 6 hours, which is not good.
It's
just
not that great. It's basically around the same as a 3DS, probably a little bit less. They did say, yeah, my 3DS
that has to be less than a 3DS.
No, it is less than a 3DS, but my 3DS lasts about, I want to say, 8 hours at the most. So, I don't know, maybe I just have a shit 3DS.
Yeah, because like 2.5 to 6 hours. Now, because this is supposed to be portable, right?
Yeah.
The pessimist in me wants to imagine that the 2.5 hours is probably what you can expect if you're playing something bigger, like a Skyrim or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're only going to get the 6 if you're running Shovel Knight on it. But we'll see.
Yeah, like honestly, like yeah, I think it depends. Like I feel like yeah, obviously the higher fidelity games are going to be eating up the battery life a whole lot faster for sure.
Yeah.
The one thing they did point out though is I think I have it. Where is it? They pointed out that portable system is battery powered and is charged through a USB Type C cable. Now this is very, very important because this will allow you to plug this thing into a portable battery source.
Okay, that's good.
So that is a way to counteract it, and that was the thing that I was waiting for because like okay. This thing needs to be able to be plugged into one of those things, right? Like those portable battery things, because it's like if I can bring one of those with me, because they're not that expensive. You can get one for like $20 or something like that, and if that will help extend the life for this thing, then that's great. I'm glad that that's an option. Because if that wasn't an option, that would have been way worse. Because then it would have been like, yeah, you are limited to the 2 and the 6 hours.
Yeah. They also detailed the online functionality. So first of all, they got rid of friend codes. Thank the Lord.
Thank the fucking God.
It took them 2 consoles too many to realize that friend codes were a stupid idea. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so they said it will have online functionality, and the fact that they feel the need to tell us just shows how backwards Nintendo can be sometimes.
Okay, I will give them credit though, is that when they're talking about online functionality, it sounds like they are okay. We realize we fucked up twice when it came to our online functionality. It was usually not easy to use. And it seems like they are going towards a PlayStation Plus, Xbox Live kind of system because they talked about how it's going to be a free trial period, but by the fall it's going to be in 2017. It's going to be a paid service.
So officially, every single console is charging for online now. And I guess c'est la vie. I blame myself and I blame all the people who bought Xbox Live for the Xbox 360.
Yeah.
This is all our fault.
This is all our fault.
Because Sony saw all the money that Microsoft was making and they were like, well, shit. So then they start charging and now Nintendo is like, well, we're not about to carry last. So here we are. But you know what? It is what it is. Hopefully the fact that they're charging means that we're going to get actual online functionality.
That is why I'm less angry about this, because I'm like, okay, look, if you're going to charge, that means they're going to have the resources and the manpower to actually make this work properly and not be a shit show, which is good.
You see, I subscribed to that thought process until I paid for PlayStation Plus for a year, and despite the fact that we were paying for PlayStation Plus for a year, PSN was still having a lot of the issues that it had when it was free.
Well, at least we didn't get hacked.
You know what? You're right, Tanner. Let's celebrate the facts.
I'll celebrate the fact that we didn't get hacked.
Online functionality and stole our credit card information. Shout outs to Mr. High Standards.
I have very high standards. But yeah, like honestly, it does give me hope for this because it makes me think, okay, yeah, because it sucks that yes, it's gonna probably. Honestly though, it depends because like I don't even know like how many because I play like my Wii U like mostly for local multiplayer, right? Not for online. The only game that I usually played for online multiplayer was Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. Oh wait, I'm gonna have to be paying for it because Monster Hunter. Okay, yeah. But and Splatoon. So Sorry?
Did you ever think that maybe part of the reason why you didn't play so many games with online multiplayer was because the online multiplayer was shit? Because that is exactly what happened with me and the PS3
Mm-hmm.
and then with the PS4. Like with the PS3, I'm like, oh yeah, well I don't play too many games online with my PS3 anyway. And the PS4 comes out and the online is so much better, and I'm like, huh. All of a sudden I'm playing a lot more games online because the online doesn't make me want to murder a small baby. So I feel like those things go together. If the online gets better, I feel like you'll start using it a lot more.
Yeah.
Even for something small, like
Yeah.
just coming online and chatting with. Like how many times have me and you just come online and just chatted in a party, despite not actually playing a game together?
Yeah.
But yeah. Hopefully the online is a lot. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think the online can be any worse than the Wii U's online.
Yeah,
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
So at the very least, it's going to be an improvement there. It's going to be a nice trial period so people can try it out and see if it's for them. So this trial period actually does give me a lot of faith, more so than the fact that they're charging for it. It's the fact that they're going to have a trial period. It gives me a lot of faith that Nintendo will come out swinging, because they know that if we come out, first of all, like most Nintendo people are like you, they're probably like that. Well, I don't need to. Why am I paying for online? I'm going to be playing most of these games online anyway. So they need to come out. They need to convince you guys that you need this. So I feel like the online is actually going to be impressive now that I'm thinking about it. And if it isn't, well, the only person that loses here is Nintendo. So
yeah, exactly. But yeah, and then they announced a couple different games. They announced Splatoon 2.
That was surprising.
That was surprising, because I was certain that it was going to be just Splatoon HD, or like basically just a re-release,
Because it looked exactly like Splatoon.
It did. It really did, which was shocking to me. But then I went, okay, well, if they can release Pokemon and it can look like the same game for 20 years, then yeah, okay. That's why is that surprising me at this point?
Honestly, I was kind of disappointed because I'm not a polygon person. I'm not like, oh my god, this has to have like so many more polygons and blah blah blah, right? But for me, it was art style, right? Like Kirby's Epic Yarn. You know, that's the game that I always revert back to. Zelda Breath of the Wild, which we'll get to later on in the podcast. But then, like even Splatoon, the first one, I love the art style, right? But then I look at the new one, and at the end of the day, this is minor. If the game comes out and it's awesome and it's fun, no one's going to care. Yeah. But I was kind of disappointed that like if they hadn't put the Splatoon 2 there, I would have thought it was the first
the same one. Yeah. Which there were differences, like there were new weapons and whatnot. It's a new hub map. More importantly, it's going to be a better version of Splatoon, because you won't have to use the touchpad, and I don't like the touchpad on the Wii U. That made the entire it sucks because like I love Splatoon's art style and its gameplay is great, but I just hated the controller. And the fact that I couldn't use my Pro controller was the worst thing about it. So the fact that now it's like, nope, you just got a menu, you pop it up, you click your teammate, you jump to them, awesome, problem solved. So that was the one thing that was like, okay, great.
Did you find the presenter a little cringy?
No, he was not the cringiest. The cringiest was Suda51. Suda51 was so cringy that it bounced from cringy to amazing. Because the translator was confused.
The translator had no idea what was going on. That was beautiful.
That was the best. I couldn't stop laughing. And I love it when the translator can you...
Chat was going ham. They were like, oh my god, let's switch to a different translate.
Oh man, I felt I think the best part is that the translator was giving off the awkwardness as well. Like it was like, can you just show the image, please? It's Travis. It's Travis. Oh, that was the best. Oh, I laughed so hard. So yeah, they did that, Splatoon 2. They also announced ARMS, which really, like, that actually looked really, really cool.
Yeah.
Like, very, very colorful. It made me think of, like, this. It's got a very colorful, like, look to it, kind of similar to Splatoon, you know, but it's
Yeah.
more of a punch-out fighting game.
Hmm.
And,
Yeah, yeah. This is Nintendo's attempt to break into the fighting game market, it
yeah,
seems. And yeah, the game looks interesting. I'm not even going to sit here
yeah.
and front. It looked like a good bit of fun. It did look all over the place, you know. But I feel like that's more a result of the people that were playing. At least I hope that's more a result of people that are playing that did not actually knowing how to play,
Yeah.
because it didn't look very skillful. If you get what I mean, it looked like they were
Well,
just swinging
yeah.
and praying.
Honestly,
Uh-uh.
that I think also the other things that they only used the two basic characters. You know, like some of the other characters seemed like they had much more interesting mechanics to them. Like there was that one mummy zombie guy who has really big arms, and he seems like he's a lot slower, but he hits more of a radius. I think there's the ninja guy who I think has more ability to curve his shots. And there was a shot. I think there was a shot in the trailer where there was a shot where it's like one of the characters was hiding behind a pillar, and he was able to do like a full super curve around the pillar and still hit her. And so I was like, okay, so clearly it seems like all the characters have different like mechanics to them, and obviously
Yeah.
it's not like they're not gonna do like a Killer Instinct like breakdown like hour and a half. Okay, this is how this is how all the characters work. But it does make me think that each character will have different mechanics to them, and it won't be just like picking like a costume essentially.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, no, that was definitely one of the highlights of their press conference for me.
hmm,
Anyway, I thought it was a really cool looking game. They didn't show it, they didn't show enough gameplay during the press conference. It was really annoying because the
hmm,
dude just kept talking. But yeah, the game looks really cool. I'm looking forward to seeing more.
yeah,
Hmm.
for sure.
Then
Then yeah.
they announced the brand new Mario.
Mario Odyssey.
Yeah, yeah. I saw this and I was like, holy shit, Mario broke into Grand Theft Auto? What the
Grand
hell is
Theft
going
Mario.
on?
Oh my god, I was losing my shit because oh my god, is this Grand Theft Mario? Is this Grand Theft Mario? Come
He,
on, I
fi-
want to see him jacking a car.
he finally
and then
snapped.
but he almost does that by jumping on top of a taxi and just smashing the hood. And I'm like, "Oh my god." But the best part about that trailer is it has the best Bowser design I have ever seen. Baller Swag Bowser is the best. Oh my
Wait,
god.
what? How did I miss this?
How
I
did
thought he
you
just looked
missed
like
it?
regular Bowser.
There was Bowser that how did you miss Bowser? You missed Baller Swag Bowser?
One sec. I'm actually watching the. Oh, okay, yeah, I see.
Yeah,
How did I miss that?
oh my god.
Oh, I probably looked away. I was probably because I was talking to my friends and I was texting. I probably made a joke about Grand Theft Auto
Oh,
when
okay,
it
yeah,
showed
yeah. But yeah,
Bowser in his top hat.
Baller Swag Bowser is the best. Oh my god.
Yeah, I actually just want to touch on something real quick. Cause yeah, when I first saw Mario and see, this is what I mean right here. This game looks beautiful, and
Mhm.
there's nothing to do with the polygon count, right? This game just looks flat out beautiful. Now,
Mhm.
personally speaking, I hate the New York stage. I think every other stage looks so much better, and
Mhm.
I think it might just be like me personally because I'm so used to seeing Mario. Maybe it's because Mario and his colorful scheme just
Yeah.
stands out on a realistic, grimy, gray ass New York City
Yeah.
street.
Oh, you know what it
But
made
yeah,
me? You
this
know what
looks
it
really
made me think? It made me think of like this is like it's a weird callback to Sonic Adventure. You know what I mean?
uh,
On the Dreamcast, where it's like
uh,
Sonic was walking around in that weird town. It could be fun. Like I would love for them to be like, this is grimy, realistic world, and they make fun of like games having to have like these super realistic like
that
areas.
would be pretty
Like
cool.
if they did that with it, I would be really happy with
But
that.
yeah, I mean, has Nintendo ever really taken like pop culture?
Uh, well, you could I guess you could argue that they did with Conquer, but but
Conquer was rare, not Nintendo.
well, it was a Nintendo 64 game.
Yeah, but like
Yeah,
Nintendo
I
didn't
know,
do
I
it
know,
anyway.
I know. It's a stretch. It's a stretch.
So yeah, it looks cool. It's coming out in the fall, I think. So
Yeah,
this will
like
not be a launch title. Well, I mean, I can't say I'm too surprised about that. Mario and Zelda as a launch title is like, calm down, Nintendo. It's
yeah.
not that serious. Yeah,
But yeah, overall, I was actually really surprised. I was pretty happy with that, as because obviously, we see Mario all over the place, right? But in more a sandboxy Mario game, like Mario 64 kind of style, that would be
yeah,
a fun thing to return to because they've been doing the side scroller platformer thing with like the Wii U version and Super Mario Brothers Wii and stuff like that for so long now that it's kind of nice to see the fully fleshed out world. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. Yeah. The next cool thing that they announced was Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Yeah. That I was
So
pretty surprised to see, for sure.
yeah, the art style wasn't I wasn't too impressed with the character designs. I don't know what it was about it, but I think they looked kind of flat, especially their faces, which probably comes
I
off as a little racist.
Well,
But
okay. When I actually want to I do want to point out that honestly, this art design is better than Xenoblade Chronicles X.
oh yeah,
Because the Xenoblade Chronicles X, the Wii U game, that one people were fighting each other over the art style because there was something about the faces in that game that looked so weird. The faces in that game looked so weird.
okay,
And it was very hard to pinpoint what it was about the faces. It was like they were going for like pseudo realistic but also pseudo anime, but they couldn't really pick which one they wanted to go for. And this is clearly more anime influenced, right? So
yeah,
I think the fact that they're sticking with more of like a particular influence than trying to do like a middle ground with what they did with Chronicles X is better. But
yeah,
yeah, it does. I will say that there wasn't really a design that stood out to me, like that made me go, "Oh wow, that's a really really cool design," or anything like that. It was like, okay, these are pretty standard designs, but honestly, I was just happy to see it. I was like, okay, good.
yeah,
You
yeah,
like
yeah.
but you kind of have to because I have to give them credit is that with this conference they pushed a wide variety of games,
They did push a wide variety
and
of
it
games.
wasn't like shooter, or anything like that. They pushed a wide variety of some party games, some classic Mario games. They had some obviously they had some JRPGs. The other thing that wasn't in the list, but I do want to make mention, SMT5.
I knew it.
Yeah,
I knew it. When I didn't put
SMT5.
it on the list, I was like, I know Tanner's going to bring this
I
up.
I want to
So
talk
whatever.
about it because seeing all those SMT5 demons in the Unreal Engine is pretty freaking hype. Honestly, it's going to be similar to how I feel when we get to Persona 5 when that comes out, like just seeing it in a much more up-to-date engine.
Yeah.
That's going to be great. So, I'm excited to see what SMT5 is going to be. And that is one thing I have to give Nintendo credit. They grabbed a pretty decent IP, like with SMT. Because it's weird, because SMT used to be, never was like a Nintendo property. And now it's basically become a Nintendo exclusive.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I just wanted to point that out, because I was getting pretty hyped when it just... Because I heard the SMT theme, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah. One other thing that is not on the list, but I want to talk on. I want to touch on really quickly is Fire Emblem Warriors. This made me so angry because they're like that. They're like, oh, I see the name Tecmo. I'm like, okay. I see Team Ninja. I'm like, ooh, okay. And then it's like Fire Emblem, and I'm like, oh, is this gonna be like a fighting game or like a Ninja Gaiden type game? And then it's like nothing. And I was like, you mother. So anyway, there's Fire Emblem Warriors coming to the Wii U. Sorry, to the Switch. It's going to take me a while to get used to that. Fire Emblem Warriors is coming to the Switch, and that's pretty much all we know.
That's all we... I was honestly a little bit disappointed with the trailer. To be honest, though, it could be really good. Like I've said before, despite its flaws, I really enjoyed Hyrule Warriors a lot. Even though it's a really repetitive game, it was still filled with a lot of love and appreciation for the Zelda franchise, so I could get behind that. And there was enough variety. Honestly, there was enough... The adventure mode in that game saved it. If the game didn't have an adventure mode, it would not have been as good of a game.
Okay.
So, so I'm interested to see. Although somebody pointed out, it's like, okay, for fuck's sake, Nintendo, you keep putting Fire Emblem characters in Smash, and now you have to make a Fire Emblem Warriors game. We get it. You like Fire Emblem. I just thought it was funny. Yeah.
But yeah, and then just to touch on some other something really quickly. They announced Ultra Street Fighter 2. Yes, 2, not 4, 2. For the Nintendo Switch. It's going to be another re-release of Street Fighter 2 because we haven't had enough of those yet.
Yeah. And
this is going to have Evil Ryu and what was it again? Ultra Ken or something. I can't remember. Whatever. Doesn't actually matter. Then Todd Howard shows up and then announces Skyrim. Not Skyrim HD edition. Not Fallout 4. Not the Elder Scrolls Online. Skyrim. Now, I'm pretty sure I'd be very surprised if this didn't come with all the DLC.
No, I'm pretty sure it is.
Skyrim is 5 years old now. But, yeah. And then finally, after making a big hoopla about it, Nintendo comes out and they're like, oh yeah, Breath of Wild is going to be a launch title. And I'm like, well, it better be.
My emotion. Okay, I wish you could see me. The emotional roller coaster I went on in the last 5 minutes of this conference was...
Nah, but for me, I was like that. There is no way this is not going to be a launch title.
I was scared. I was scared because by the end of it, I was looking because I had been looking for. Okay, we need some launch titles. Okay, they got that party game, which is fine. It's basically Wii Sports. Okay, whatever. That's gonna be a launch title. But then I was like, okay, well, Mario's not launching. Okay, this isn't launching. This isn't. Oh no. There's got to be something. There's got to be something. And I want to make a point out. That trailer was so fucking good.
Yeah, it was a really good trailer. I don't know if I've mentioned this on the podcast before, but I really like cell shading.
No, you did. And this is the first time. First time.
Oh, okay. So I just wanted to make that clear.
Oh, that joke will never die.
But no, that was a very well-made trailer, and it looked good. I was hoping that the trailer would end with Link saying his first words.
Yeah.
But,
yeah,
we can only get so much.
Yeah, honestly, I do want to touch on the voice acting a little bit, because it's interesting, because they also released a English voice acting trailer. It's just the same thing, but with English voice acting, right? And it's weird. I've never been in this position where I don't know which version I prefer, you know? Because there's the Japanese voice acting and there's the English voice acting, right?
Yeah.
And I think both are pretty good from the comparisons. And then I was listening to... But the big debate right now, at least from a lot of the fans, is people are debating Zelda's voice acting. Because a lot of people are saying that the Japanese voice acting is more Japanese voice acting, in which it's a bit over the top. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But whereas the people are counter-arguing that the English voice acting, Zelda sounds a lot more reserved, but maybe under-acting. You know what I mean? Where it's a little more... Yeah, so it's like... But honestly, I think both are fine. I don't know. But it's obviously hard to gauge a voice performance from just like a 3-minute trailer.
Yeah.
So obviously when I get my hands on the game and I get to play it. Also, I would like to point out that the designs in this trailer, I fucking love them so much. That Zora, that one red shark Zora guy looks so freaking cool. There's that Garuda chick that has those giant saber-toothed tigers in the desert. It's just and Falco's in the game, so that's cool. But yeah, no, I really, I have to admit, that was a really good trailer to end on. That was a really
that was a good trailer to end on. So now, to touch on the press conference as a whole. So I've already deduced that me and Tan are going to disagree on this completely. But so I will give my thoughts.
Yeah,
unless you want to go first, Tanner.
No, you go right ahead. Let's just rip it off like a Band-Aid.
Okay. So like overall, it wasn't their worst press conference. You know, it'll take a
No.
lot to top E3 2010, but
Mm-hmm.
it didn't quell a lot of the fears that I had for the console
Mm-hmm.
because and you mentioned this earlier in the podcast, right? Okay, so the first of all, like I mentioned a long time ago, third party support was going to be really important because for most people, this like you at $300, this isn't just a side console, right? You can't just be like, oh, I have some extra money lying around, I'm gonna pick up a Switch, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
that's a lot of money. For some, like most people kind of like, okay, some people can't afford two consoles. And then if this is the only console you're going to buy, at this point, I'm pretty sure the third party support is going to be because, because they've also confirmed that, first of all, it uses cartridges.
Mm-hmm.
It uses 16 gigabyte cartridges, just for reference sake. The PS4 and the Xbox One's discs have 50 gigabytes of space. So these cartridges, while bigger than an N64 cartridge, thank God, they're still not very big,
Mm-hmm.
right? Then there's no backwards compatibility, and I'm like, wow, that's like one of the things that the Wii U. That's one of the few things that the Wii U had over the PS4 and the Xbox One, and then you're throwing that out the window.
Yeah.
The battery life, like I mentioned earlier, leaves me
Mm-hmm.
wanting, but we'll see.
Like I said, there is a solution to it at the very least.
Yeah,
That was like the
yeah,
uh,
but we'll see. And just overall, like the launch title, the launch, the slate of launch games is just bad. Like
Oh, well,
like
I will clarify though. I agree with you. From what they showed that is coming at launch is not great so far. I have read that they are going to be releasing more games at like they're good. They haven't released all the trailers for the launch games. Like
okay,
like there are supposed to be more that are going to be revealed over the next couple weeks. They haven't all been revealed. Like we haven't. I can confirm that we haven't gotten like the full list of what's going to be there at launch, but I will
yeah.
admit that I at the end of it I was a little bit disappointed that they didn't show more launch games. You know what I mean? I understand.
Because
I
it's not like
understand.
it's not just their last presentation before the launch of the game, right?
I wanted to put excuse me. I wanted to point out that I think what they did though was they went, okay, what are the games that we need to show that are going to be the ones that turn eyes or like turn heads, you know what I mean? So they kind of did that, but it just sucks that none of these games are going to be out.
Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, this is all speculation. For all we
Yeah.
know, for launch titles right now, it's 1-2 Switch, Just Dance 2017, Skylanders Imaginator, Super Bomberman R, and then Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. That's pretty much one good game on at
Mm-hmm.
launch, which, to be fair, is generally to be expected. Most consoles only launch with one,
One
maybe
decent.
two solid titles, but
Yeah.
then they usually launch with like another title that's passable, and
Mm-hmm.
then there's usually like one title at launch that like turns heads, like Resistance, Wii Sports, funny enough.
Yeah.
Shit, what did Microsoft have? They had Perfect Dark and they had Cameo. You have those games that are supposed to turn heads at launch, and then you have like your extra games that are like bolster it up a little bit. Like even the
Mm-hmm.
Wii U had more games at launch than the Switch. So
Mm-hmm.
like the launch window isn't impressive. Now to be fair, a couple weeks afterwards, ARMS is what's becoming spring. I Am Setsuna, Mario Kart 8 is coming in April.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be like just about 2 months later. And there's a couple of other things. But yeah, right now the launch, like I just keep reiterating, the launch window, the launch titles aren't impressive.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the big one for me, right? Is
Mm-hmm.
that what is this? Is this supposed to be a home console or a portable console, right? Because, or I guess what they're going for is that it's supposed to be a bit of both, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then, like in the home console market, what they've shown can't compete with other home consoles. It just, I don't think anyway that what they have cannot compete. Then in the handheld point of view, it's not backwards compatible. So right now it's competing with the 3DS. So I'm just because like what I thought this was going to be was it was going to be like a console that was as powerful as an Xbox One or a PS4, but then was also had the portability element to it, right? So it was a it was competing primarily with the home consoles, but then its gimmick over them was that, oh, okay, well, you have to stay at home to play Fallout 4, but I can play Fallout 4 on the bus, right?
Yeah.
But now after watching the press conference, I'm getting the impression that this is a handheld that can be plugged into a TV. In which case, it's competing with the 3DS, because I mean, like, the Vita doesn't exist as far as anyone is concerned.
I do want to point out, as someone who has a 3DS, there is the big thing about it is that yes, you're competing with the 3DS's market, right? But the 3DS, the 3DS itself has a bunch of its own problems. It has one of the worst screens, and I'm talking about from like quality wise, like. The 3DS screen is terrible as far as like visually displaying what's the gameplay. So I think it's going to be a much more better at least from a present. And I'm not just talking just about the graphics. I'm talking about that the screen is better in every way, shape, and form than the 3DS. And I think that is what's going to obviously. I can guarantee you that most people, if we're being perfectly honest, most people who are going to be getting the Switch probably already have a 3DS anyway. You know what I mean? And like, and I get what you're saying, where it's like, why would they want to switch to a 3DS? So like, it's because honestly. There's a lot of things that the reason why I stuck with the 3DS is because the 3DS had a good library of games. It has a really...
the 3DS is a magnificent console.
Yeah, it's got a really great library of games. But there are still a lot of problems, and obviously, like, if we can get, my hope at the very least, if we can get that same quality with the Nintendo Switch, that's going to be awesome, because like I think I mentioned this a long time ago when we were talking about the Switch, is that because Nintendo's portable companies and home companies are going to be combining, that means their library is going to will just be getting better, because they're not switching. They're not going to have two markets. It's supposed to be one market, or at least that's the plan.
So then what you're saying is that they're going to kill off the 3DS?
Probably. If I'm being perfectly honest.
See how they're going to kill off one of the highest selling like handhelds in the history. Like it makes no sense. Like so, and yeah, like if the plan was to kill off the 3DS, then this makes perfect sense. This is the successor to the 3DS, right?
Yeah, that's.
But like I'm pretty sure Nintendo came out and said that no, the 3DS isn't going anywhere. So then I'm like, okay, the 3DS isn't going anywhere. Then what's the point, right? Because okay, like you said, you're like that. Okay, a lot of people that own 3DSs are going to buy the Switch. Okay, but then you're not actually growing your market there, right? And I'm like, okay, well, should it? And maybe I don't know anything. Maybe Nintendo is happy with where they are right now. But like, I would think that the goal with this was to take back the console market, because let's be completely honest with ourselves, man. Nintendo haven't been big in the console market since the Super Nintendo, maybe the N64, but like they've been lagging behind since the Super Nintendo. Let's say the N64. Let me just meet you halfway and say the N64.
Yeah. Even
though the PlayStation outsold the N64, whatever. Yeah. They've been lagging behind since the N64, which came out in 1994. Like that's like 23 years ago. So I thought that this Switch was going to be them being like, you know what, we are the fathers of the home console, and we're back to take what is ours. And maybe it will. At the end of the day, nobody knows, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think with what I saw, this is going to make anyone who owns a PS4 be like that. Holy shit! I need to switch my allegiance.
Switch.
Every time press conference, I'm going to fly to LA and choke somebody.
Oh, you're talking about the conference thing with the Switch where they're making that joke.
Yes.
Switch.
It's like every time.
Let's switch.
It's like, okay, we get it. The game is called the Switch, okay? That is like the easiest pun ever. You don't get any credit for that. That's the low-hanging fruit. But I digress. Yeah, personally, I feel like I felt a little confused after watching the press conference because, like, look at us. We both watched the press conference and we're not even sure what Nintendo's. Neither of us is sure.
Well,
what
no,
Nintendo's
I mean, my interpretation of what their plan was. You think that you thought. Well, I'm not saying that you thought. Okay, you think that this was meant to be them coming in and taking back home consoles, right?
Yeah.
Which I totally get. Me, I thought it was more. They're trying to. I thought they were trying to stick with portable, and that is. But what they're trying to do is that they're trying to sell the option of being able to plug this in as a home console. So I'm looking at it more from the portable aspect, and you're looking at it from the home console aspect.
But you see, the problem, Tana, is that we're both thinking of what Nintendo's plan is. Like, okay, let me give you an example. Microsoft, their Xbox One press conference, the one announcing the Xbox One. Everybody can agree it was terrible, right? I think we could all say, objectively speaking, it was a terrible press conference.
It was a fucking shit
When I finished watching that press conference, even that press conference, as bad as it was, I could tell you what Microsoft's plan was. They wanted the Xbox One to be an entertainment system. It was a bad plan, and it backfired, but I knew what it was.
Their plan
right?
was, okay. Yeah,
Neither of us knows what their plan is here, and I feel like that is a problem. 2 months before your console is launching, no one knows what this console. People are still not sure what this console is supposed to be. I don't think that's good. You know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm taking something. Maybe I'm making a mountain out of a molehill, right? But I came in here hoping for, because there was a lot of questions, you know, and they did answer a lot.
They answered a lot. I have to give them credit. They did answer.
They answered a lot of questions that I had. They answered some questions about the online, about the price. Well, I hope they answered questions about the price, about the battery life, about the software, about all that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you know, like I'm I don't know. Like I felt like, and you know, yeah, I just felt confused after I watched this. But please, let me hear your thoughts.
My opinion,
on this press conference.
honestly, I enjoyed it. At the end of the day, I really did enjoy it. It was still a weird conference. I think you know what I did before I watched this conference, and this was something that I wanted to do. I wanted to compare the marketing of the Switch to the marketing of the Wii U. I wanted to make that comparison and see, okay, have they learned from the mistakes that they made with the Wii U? Because you know how we're having small conversations about okay, what is the Nintendo Switch supposed to be? No, and we are a little bit confused, right? There was so much more confusion with the Wii U. So much more. And you can tell that they marketed that thing terribly before launch. The marketing is awful. And it amazed me at this conference that their marketing has improved. I'm not saying that it's stellar, but it has improved. And that was something that I was like, okay, I appreciate that. It was one of the things I thought was weird about the conference as a whole was it felt like E3, but it was a room full of businessmen. That I thought was weird. I thought that was really, really weird. But you know what? I think the thing that really, really saved the whole thing was there was just a good, solid amount of games. Just Splatoon, ARMS, Mario, Xenoblade, Ultra Street Fighter 2, Skyrim, Legend of Zelda. You know, they had a good lineup of games in this conference, which was good. It would have been bad if it was oh, we have 3 games to show. You know, that wouldn't have been enough. You know, so I really did end up enjoying it. And one thing I didn't enjoy was a different article I read, and because I mean, like I said, I'm a little bit biased. I've already pre-ordered a damn thing, so there you go. Just that silence, thanks.
I mean, no, I know. I knew from the day that they announced this that you were going to buy it. So this is no.
Honestly, it wasn't just that. It was the fact that Zelda is going to be on this thing. Okay, Zelda's going to be on this thing, and also Monster Hunter is.
Isn't Zelda going to be on the Wii U?
Yeah, but if you want to talk about stupid fucking shit, and this is something that I think this is the stupidest thing in the world, the Switch version is coming out on March 3rd. The Wii U version is coming out in the fall.
Ha!
So I was like, nope.
That's funny.
So, but honestly, I did enjoy the conference. I did have fun watching it. There were some cringy moments, there were some confusing moments, but I did enjoy it. And like I said, that Legend of Zelda trailer was so like it's probably one of my favorite trailers I've seen all year. I do realize it's January, but it's probably going to be up there.
15th of January to be precise.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be up there when it's like, October 2017. That's still one of my favorite trailers.
Okay. Really quick, just to update on something we mentioned a little while back. I actually got a quote from Nintendo talking about the 3DS, and they're like, thanks to our software, the 3DS hardware is still growing. Mm-hmm. So that business still has momentum. Yeah, big surprise there. And certainly, rather than being cannibalized by the Switch, we think that the 3DS can continue in its own form. So, no, this is not going to be a replacement for the 3DS. Okay. And they also claim it's not going to be a replacement for the Wii U, although it is. Let's be honest with ourselves.
It is. Even though Nintendo doesn't want to say that, it is. Everything from how this thing is being marketed and how this thing... It's meant to be... The Wii U was not the super success that we wanted it to be. We have to make something new that's going to sell like gangbusters... And this is their attempt to do that. I still enjoyed it. Enjoyed the conference. I enjoyed the games. I thought there was a good... Like I said before, I was happy with the variety. They showed off a good variety of some JRPGs, some party games, some more third party stuff. So like I said, I enjoyed it. But all the criticisms you have on it, Fawwaz, I do agree with you. Like, there is a lot that is still a bit confusing about this whole thing. I think, obviously, the thing that it's going to be the test is that when this thing launches and everyone gets their hands on it, that's when people will know what this thing is. Mm. As much as Nintendo wants to tell us what this thing is, we're only going to know when we actually get our hands on it. Because Nintendo tried to tell us what the Wii U was supposed to be. But then when we got our hands on it, then that's when we realized what it actually was.
Yeah.
So I'm still hopeful. For sure. But overall, pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff from Nintendo, I think.
Yeah.
So I think we're pretty much it. Do we have a question of the day?
Yes, our question of the day is from Jay Streets, and it ties right into our last into what we just discussed. How many games would be an acceptable number for the launch of the Nintendo Switch? Well, my first answer is more than what we have right now, but more specifically, honestly, I don't care about the number of games. It's quality over quantity.
It's quality.
The PlayStation 3 had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 games at launch, and I think we can all agree that the PlayStation 3 had one of the worst launches in recent memory. Yeah. So like for me, I don't really care. The real issue was that Resistance: Fall of Man was like the only game at its launch that you would buy a PS3 for. Almost everything else here was multi-platform, and then the few that weren't had either giant enemy crabs or they were Ridge Racers. So yeah, for me, I would like 1, 2, maybe this is pushing it, I completely admit, maybe 3 solid games, at launch. You have your Resistance, you have your Ridge Racer, and then if Genji Days of the Blade wasn't shit, then you'd have like your 3 solid launch title game, launch window games. Mm-hmm. The Xbox 360, for example, it had Cameo, and it had Cameo, it had Perfect Dark. It had Quake 4. They had its sports games. It had Call of Duty 2. So yeah, the Xbox 360 had a very, very solid launch series of launch titles. The PS4 not so much actually. I'm trying to remember what the PS4 had for.
They had the new Killzone game.
Yeah, they had Killzone Shadowfall. They had Knack, but the less said about Knack, the better. Was what's that game called? Was the one with the superhero dude?
The superhero dude. You're gonna have to be more specific. There's a lot of superhero dudes.
Sucker Punch.
Infamous. Yeah, Infamous.
Infamous wasn't a launch title.
I don't know if it.
Oh no, autoplay commercials but yeah, no, the PS4 had a terrible launch. I mean, it didn't matter because the Xbox One's launch was so much worse.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of games, the PS4's launch window was not very good. But yeah, for me personally, 2 games. At least give me 2 solid games that I can play and I can put time into and can hold me off. But in general, personally, I don't buy consoles at launch. I've never bought a console at launch, and I don't plan on changing that anytime soon.
Honestly, Fawwaz, I wouldn't. This is the first time I've actually bought a console on launch. This is the first time, and honestly,
I was talking about the Wii U, the PS4, or the Switch.
No. Oh, you're just talking in general, or?
Well, no. Which one of the consoles did you buy at launch? The Wii U, the PS4, or the Switch?
I didn't buy the Wii U at launch. I didn't buy the PS4 at launch. I'm buying the Switch.
Okay, so the Switch you're planning on buying. Yeah, that's what I meant. Is that know when you say this is gonna be the first time, I was like, which
which
this?
one? Which one?
That was what I was asking.
Okay, sorry. But it's one of those things where it's I have to give them credit because it was funny when I pre-ordered it. The guy I pre-ordered it, he said, "Yeah, every single person who came in today to pre-order Switch just also pre-ordered Zelda."
Well,
that's
the only game to own on the Switch right now.
No, but what I'm saying is that as far as if it seems like what their plan is, I don't know. This is me guessing. Is that people are going to be playing Zelda, and Zelda's a big game. That's not a game you can beat in an hour.
No.
It's a big game, so that I think they're hoping that that game's gonna last for a month for people, and then when April comes around, there'll be another game for people to, sink their teeth into. I think that's their plan. I don't know.
But I mean, obviously, because there's nothing else right now, so they definitely be hoping that Zelda can last. And here's the thing: is that this is why I don't buy video games at launch. It doesn't matter how good the launch window is. There's always going to be that lull. That lull is just always going to be a thing. After you've bought the console, you've bought a couple of launch titles, you finish playing them, and then there's just nothing to play. It's just standard. So so like I said, this is why I don't buy them. But yeah, so that's just gonna be a thing, and Nintendo can't even worry about it because it goes without saying at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. I mean, the thing is selling. I mean, it's sold out on Amazon.
Well, I mean, the hype is there.
Yeah. Well, I think also the other reason why it's sold out. This was also another. This is sort of an aside. But the one thing I really don't like that Nintendo's doing, and it's something that's happened with them where it's they're looking at how things have sold and they're undershipping shit, and I don't like that they undership stuff. And the main reason that they're undershipping the Switch is mostly due to the fact that they overship the Wii U. And they don't want Switches sitting in warehouses. So it sucks because it's this thing's only going to have 2 million worldwide. which sounds like a big number, but worldwide is not that many.
No. So. There's 7 billion, and there's 7 billion people in the world. So yeah, 2 million is hardly a lot. But yeah, we shall see. We shall see.
Honestly, but just getting back to JC's question, honestly, I would always prefer a fewer really good launch titles than a bigger amount. So if I could get, I think 3 is the magic number, at least for me. If I could get 3 really solid games to play, then I would be happy. I think it would be awesome if it was you have your single-player focus game, you have your party game, and then you have something else which is sort of in between. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also, it's interesting that people are speculating whether or not there's going to be another Smash on this thing. But I think it's gonna be a while. I honestly don't think we're gonna be getting Smash on the Switch for a while. Like it's gonna be 2 years from now if that even gets considered.
Yeah, it's gonna be. We shall see.
We shall see. Yeah, but anyway, good stuff. Thanks for the questions, J Streets. And as always, if you've got a question, leave it in the comment section. I'll make sure to answer it in the next podcast. And as always, this was your host, Room Liberty, and
Fawwaz Muhammad Yusuf.
And we'll see you guys next time. Take care.